All right, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this portion of tonight's webinar. We have a list of universities here to share a little bit more information about their individual programs, schools, and universities, and what makes them unique as you continue your search for your institution. So we just have a few different housekeeping reminders before we get tonight's webinar started. So the first thing is probably the most important on how to ask questions. So at the bottom of your screen, you'll see the Q&A function that will allow you to ask questions to either a specific university or just a general question. If you have those, we'll be able to field those on the back end and assign them to the individual representative who you're asking a question to. So feel free to utilize that throughout the entire duration of the webinar. There will be a recording available at the end of it within the next few days on the strivescan.com website where you originally registered. So you can go back and review any contact information or content that a university has shared for your review afterwards. And the sessions will be going on for the next few weeks and into the summer as we continue your search for your institution. And with further ado, I will pass it over to our first university representative, Taylor, to share a little bit more about his institution and what they have to offer there.
You're muted, Taylor.
Taylor, yep.
Thanks for that. My name is Taylor Forbes, and I'm the North and South Carolina Admissions Counselor here at East Tennessee State University. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm going to briefly talk about ETSU. If you have questions, definitely put them in the Q&A, and I'll do my best to answer them. The first thing I'm going to talk about is our brand new out-of-state tuition reset for North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, and Kentucky. It's a huge deal. It's $10,500 per year for tuition. And so it's really close to what we offer our in-state students here in Tennessee. Huge deal. If you want to learn more about it, go to etsu.edu/advantage. We're located in Johnson City, Tennessee. It's up in the northeast corner of the state. We're about an hour north of Asheville, 2 hours north of Knoxville, about 2 hours north of the Greenville-Spartanburg area there in South Carolina. So it's a pretty good area. We can get to a lot of the bigger cities pretty quick. But Johnson City itself's not a small little town. I mean, it's got about 63,000 people. It's big enough where you've got stuff to do. So if you want to go shop at one of our malls, or if you want to go out and catch a movie or just hang out at one of the parks, you're going to be able to do that. We are in the middle of the mountains. So if you're an outdoorsy type of person, you want to get out and hike and bike or get on the water in one of the rivers or lakes, you're going to be able to do that. Or if you just want to throw up a hammock somewhere and read a book, we got plenty of spots to do that. So it's a beautiful area. If you've never been to East Tennessee, it's definitely worth the trip. Our campus, it's a pretty good size. We've got about 5 miles of hiking and biking trails right here on campus. We have a 360-acre arboretum, which means we've got trees everywhere. You can kind of see that from the picture. And over the last 2 years, we've done about $250 million in construction. And that includes a new student center, a brand new Martin Center for the Arts that's home to a 1,200 seat auditorium, and tons of other cool stuff. A lot of new green spaces on campus, brand new football stadium, and all kinds of neat stuff. We are doing in-person tours Monday through Friday. We have some Saturday dates available. If you want to sign up for one, you can go to etsu.edu/visit. We also have virtual tours available. So if you want to go to etsu.university-tour.com, you can check out our virtual tour, and I'll have that URL on my last slide too. We're a little bit different from other schools of our size in that we don't require our freshmen or any of our students to live on campus. Most do, especially out-of-state students, and we've got plenty of room for you. We've got 10 residence halls and 5 different styles, everything from your hall style all the way through apartment styles, just depending on how much money you want to spend and kind of what kind of roommate situation you're comfortable with. If you were living on campus and you had an all-you-can-eat meal plan, you can expect to pay about $9,000 per year for room and board. And 35% of our students that live on campus make the dean's list every semester. ETSU, we call it a major university with a small college feel. I call it a Goldilocks school because it's not too big and it's not too small. It's still big enough where you're going to get that big school experience with the student organizations and athletic events and all that fun stuff that goes along with college, but it's still small enough where you're going to get an average classroom size of 23 and a faculty to student ratio of 15 to 1. That means if you need to get in to meet with your advisors or a tutor, you're not going to have to battle a whole lot of, or battle other students to get in to see someone. So it's a really good size. And a part of being a little bit bigger university, we've got 250 student organizations. They range from everything like your fraternity and sorority life, student government. We have hobby-based organizations like our esports teams, all kinds of stuff. Intramurals are also a really big part of our campus. We have over 400 athletic teams, and they cover over 20 different sports. And that's everything like your traditional high school sports like flag football or volleyball through board games, rock, paper, scissors, and all kinds of other stuff. And we're still a big enough campus where we pull in major concert acts. We've had everybody from Carrie Underwood through Maroon 5. Scotty McCreery was here right before COVID hit. So that's kind of a fun thing to experience while you're in college, and it's free for our students, and our students also get to vote on this concert. So you get to decide who actually comes to campus. We are an NCAA Division I school. So if you're into sports, if you want to learn how to play, you can go to etsubucks.com, or if you're just a fan, all of our athletic events are free. All you got to do is show your ID at the gate and they'll let you in. So we don't put you in any kind of athletic lottery or charge you an extra athletic fee if you want to go to any of the games. We do have over 150 different programs. They range from everything from our ETSU health programs, where we offer more comprehensive health science programs than any other college in the United States. We're in the top 5% of all business schools in the US, and we're one of the top education schools in the US as well. So lots of cool stuff going on at ETSU. If you want to learn more, definitely check out our website, or you can ask questions and I'll talk to you at the end or through the chat. For tuition, you can expect about $20,000 per year after the new tuition reset, before any kind of scholarships or anything like that. We do give out $33 million in scholarships a year, which is the highest out of any public school in the state of Tennessee. And 92% of our students receive some sort of financial assistance. Admissions requirements are pretty simple. As long as you have a 2.3 or a 19 on the ACT, you're going to be admissible. We are test optional for this year. Hopefully we're going to be test optional for next year. That decision is being made right now, so stay tuned for the latest updates. And we are rolling admissions, so we don't have any kind of admissions deadlines or anything like that. To apply, you just go to etsu.edu/apply. Then my last slide, if you want to stay up to date with all the things with ETSU and all the new stuff that's happening, definitely check out Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, or our YouTube channel, and that's just ETSU admissions. You can do our virtual tour I talked about earlier. And if you have questions that you think of down the road, don't hesitate to shoot me an email, or you can always give me a call. And that's my information there on the screen. But that's all about ETSU.
Awesome, thank you. And we will turn it over to our next presenter from Briar College.
Hi, my name is Savannah, and I am so glad you are here. I'm an admissions counselor at Briar College in Virginia. We are roughly in the middle of Virginia. We're about an hour south of Charlottesville, 3 hours south of DC. We're a small private women's college, liberal arts and science, intentionally small, a beautiful campus. So a few things about Briar. As I said, we are all women. We are focused on developing leaders to tackle the modern problems that your generation is going to be inheriting, to be problem solvers and analytical thinkers and collaborators. Your average class size is 8 to 12 students, so you really get that one-on-one experience. Your faculty can see your face and they know when you are getting it and when you're not, and they will help you. We like to joke there's no back row. It's very hands-on, very experiential, lots of research opportunities, literally right on campus, but also you're going to be learning hands-on and in-depth. We are focused on outcomes within 6 months of graduation. Most of our students are gainfully employed or in graduate school, and I maintain that the other 10% are doing both and just too busy to answer back. And then we have about 18 miles of trails within our campus, almost 3,000 acres, most of which is rural, never going to be a long walk to class. But if you want to go horseback riding or mountain biking or hiking, we've got a beautiful campus for you to be able to take advantage of that. We have about 20 different programs of study, including pre-med, pre-vet, and pre-law. Our engineering program is ABET accredited. And then we also have a Master of Arts in Teaching program and an Equestrian Studies certificate program, where if you wanted to focus in on the training and schooling of horses or barn management, that would be a great opportunity. You can also design your own major. 8 out of 10 of our students do internships before they graduate. Many of them end up getting their first job as a result of one of those internships. 6 out of 10 of our students do research with faculty. Many of them actually get published on those papers with faculty, so that's another great thing to be able to put on your resume. Our faculty came to Sweetbriar to teach. We are not a publish or perish institution, so they don't have to constantly publish or do research to keep their jobs. They love teaching, and that's why they're here. You're always going to be taught by faculty, not graduate assistants, not students, by faculty, and they love teaching. Most of them have the highest degree in their fields. We also have a 3-12-12-3 calendar system where we begin and end each year with a 3-week period where you only take one course at a time. It's in depth, it meets every day, it's very intensive, but it really gives you a chance to go deep into a study. And when COVID is over, some of those will be going abroad as they were before all of this started. So we had an art history class that went to Italy, we had a creative writing class that went to London, and our archaeology professor was planning a trip to the Mediterranean. So some fun opportunities coming soon. We are a highly residential campus. Most of our students live on campus. We do guarantee housing for all 4 years. Lots of different dorm options on campus. All of those are heating and air conditioned, which is not standard. So definitely ask about that when you are touring and traveling. We have on-campus counseling and health services available. We know that mental health is just as important as physical health. All of that is right close by. And fantastic food. Our dining provider is Meriwether Godsey. They are locally owned, women-owned and operated. We actually grow most of our produce in a greenhouse that is literally within sight of our dining hall, and our students can work at that greenhouse. That's one of the many different job opportunities that we have on campus. We are devoted to sustainability. So we have an apiary on campus, which is helping to support, growing things. Our students can get experience there. You can actually become a certified beekeeper. We have 2 vineyards on campus that are growing grapes that we can sell back to Virginia wineries to help support those. And then we have a 26,000 square foot greenhouse where we're growing most of the produce that we serve in our dining hall. So it's fantastic. And literally everything is close by. We are internationally renowned for our writing program. A third of our students are horseback riders, and then half of them are first-time riders. So it's something you can try for the first time if you never have. We have about 50 school-owned horses. That is right on campus. It's 130 acres, and you can literally walk to it. So it's easy to get to. You won't be giving up a lot of time to participate. We also have 7 other varsity sports that are Division III. So while we don't give athletic scholarships, you get to be a student athlete. We block all of our practices so they don't interfere with classes, and rarely do games interfere with classes. So soccer, swimming, tennis, lacrosse, field hockey, golf, and cross country. And everything has open tryouts every season. So even if you didn't know and weren't recruited, you can still try out. Lots of different clubs and organizations on campus, really, really active. And if there's something that you want that doesn't exist yet, you can start it. You just need a couple friends and the impetus to get going. Again, when all of this is over, we will be doing study abroad again. We have lots of opportunities all over the world. Basically, as long as it's not a war-torn country, we'll send you there. Career services follow you for your entire life. So 20 years down the road, you decide you want to switch careers, they'll work with you for free to help make sure you have all of the resources you need. We are highly affordable, so no student pays the full price. We offer merit scholarships at the time you're accepted and need aid based on your FAFSA. Merit scholarships range up to $15,000 this year, so that's 75% of tuition covered right there just by coming in with some great background. And then we are open for in-person visits. We do those throughout the year. We have open houses as well. We do personalized virtual tours. We would love to take you and show you around and let you see everything we have to offer. I work with students from North and South Carolina, and I can promise you we have an inn on campus where you can stay overnight so you don't have to make the trip all in one day. And we can actually cover the cost of your travel so you can see everything we have to offer. We are rolling admissions at this stage. No fee to apply. Essays and recommendation letters are optional. Super easy to apply. I'd love to answer any questions you have. You can reach out to me directly. I'll also drop my information in the chat, and know that we are highly holistic and will work with you individually.
Great, thank you. And we will pass it over next to Bridget to share a little bit more.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Bridget Miller. I'm from Regent University. If you've never heard of us before, we're a 4-year private Christian university. We're located in Virginia Beach, so we're coastal Virginia. And we also have a ton of online programs as well. We are open to campus tours right now, both group and individual. So we welcome you to schedule a tour when you can and see our gorgeous campus. We offer over 135 different programs of study. This goes all the way from associates and certificates all the way up through doctoral programs. And then for those students who want to expand their knowledge using a more classical approach, we also have an honors college as well. We have about 11,000 students total at Regent. 4,400 of those are undergraduates, but that does include online students as well. So living and studying on campus, there's about 1,400. So it's a medium to large size school, but with a small school feel if you're living and studying on campus. Our students do represent 50 states, 90 countries, and then 40 different denominations. So you can definitely say we have quite a diverse population at Regent. 90% of our full-time faculty hold the highest degree in their discipline or a terminal degree, and many of them actually actively work in their field still, so that gives you a lot of real-world experience to learn from. And then our student-faculty ratio is 17:1, so that gives you a really great small classroom dynamic, and that will allow you to build lasting relationships with both your peers and your professors that hopefully you can carry with you after graduation. At Regent, we offer our students many resources to ensure your success, whether you live on campus or whether you're a student studying online as well. You can see some of them here, but my personal favorite is the Office of Career and Talent Management. This one's really great because even as an alumni, so even 20 years after you graduate or 30 years after you graduate, this resource is still there for you for things like resume building or interviewing skills, all of those good things that you can kind of reach back to Regent to help build those skills even after you graduate. All of our housing is apartment style. What that means is you have a bedroom and a full kitchen. And because we have a full kitchen in our residence halls, we actually don't require a meal plan as well. So that's a little bit of a saved cost. We also have free Wi-Fi, gym, and laundry. And we're one of the top 5 safest campuses in Virginia. We realize that figuring out the finances, that's a huge factor in which school you're going to choose to go to. At Regent, we're committed to making our education affordable. We rank in the top 5% of the most affordable Christian schools, and 86% of our undergraduate students receive some sort of aid. We also have a number of institutional opportunities, so specifically through Regent for aid, and we encourage all of our students to fill out FAFSA to take advantage of federal aid that you may be eligible for. You can also visit our website to access what we call the net price calculator. That's a really great resource for you to kind of break down your costs based on your specific circumstances. We also understand that your college experience, it involves every aspect of life, not just the academic portion. And Regent offers a lot of different opportunities outside of the classroom for you. We have over 55 student-led organizations. This includes everything from surf club to moot court and pretty much everything in between. We also offer 9 collegiate sports for NCCAA Division I. And then we also have club and intramural sports if you're looking to participate in something athletic without competing at that collegiate level. We have a state-of-the-art performing arts center where students can either watch or participate in several productions throughout the year. And if you're interested in a military career or military commission, we offer several ROTC programs, Marine PLC, and some scholarship opportunities for that as well. So as I mentioned, Regent is located in coastal Virginia Beach. We're a 20-minute drive to the boardwalk. In the state of Virginia, there are 38 state parks and 21 national parks. So it's a perfect place to kind of venture out and explore over the weekends. Virginia is also home to several historic sites, including nearby historic Williamsburg. And we're only a few hours away from places like the Outer Banks in Washington, D.C. So again, we are open for tours and we would love for you to come visit our campus. But if you're unable to visit physically right now, we also have a virtual on-campus tour that you can take advantage of. And I'll put the link to that in the chat feature. If you want to apply, it's really easy to do so. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes. You can either do that over the phone at the phone number listed here or online. I will say if you are looking to apply, there is normally a $50 application fee. However, if you speak with an admissions counselor over the phone for the application process, they're often able to waive that fee. So that might be a really great opportunity for you to kind of save some costs during your application journey. But yeah, I'll go ahead and put my information in the chat feature if you'd like to follow up with me. And thank you for listening.
Awesome. Thanks, Bridget. So we will next move over to Carson-Newman University.
Okay. Hey guys, I am Chris Miller from Carson-Newman University. It is a Christian liberal arts university located in Jefferson City, Tennessee. We're about 45 minutes east of Knoxville, about an hour and a half from Asheville, and probably about 2.5 hours from Spartanburg. We're an old school, founded in 1851. We have a 120-acre campus, but only 2,700 total enrollment, and about half that's graduate students. So you have about 1,300 students on in a rural 120-acre campus. Faculty to student ratio is 14:1. What that looks like in real time is your smallest class will be about a handful of students. And then the largest classes will be like 50 students in person. We offer right now over 50 majors. Our most popular are going to be education, nursing, psychology, computer science. We offer both an AS and a BS, so a 2-year and a 4-year program. Business actually makes up about 12% of our school, so we have a fairly large business program. And then our, it's called pre-health professions, but it's essentially our pre-med program, which is why other programs are popular, like biology, exercise science. Being a Christian institution, religion is obviously popular, as well as family and consumer science. So if you like interior design, architecture, early childhood development, nutrition, that's family and consumer science. Our application is free. There's no essay, test optional. Like somebody said before, it's going up for a vote as to whether we'll maintain our test optional policy, but my fingers and toes are crossed. And what that actually means is a 275 or higher, we don't need your ACT or SAT scores to admit you. If you have a 2.2 to 2.75, we would need SAT or ACT scores to review your application. And then if you come in below a 2.2, it's not that you won't be admissible. There are just some extra steps that we have to go through. If you haven't started applying for colleges, if you're a junior, file your FAFSA in October and get the school codes. If you take anything from this presentation, get your school codes, file your FAFSA early. We do accept federal aid, even though we are a private school. We take Pell Grants, we take the SCOG grants, subsidized and unsubsidized loans, as well as other government grants and scholarships. Each student that is admitted receives a freshman merit scholarship. So just solely based on your GPA, you can get $6,000 to $10,000 recurring. And that takes up about 1/3 of your tuition. If you do submit your ACT and SAT, even if you have above a 275, you can get up to $14,000 per year, and that covers half of your tuition. We have a lot of other scholarship opportunities. Service is like ingrained in our core. So at the top, Faith and Justice, Bonner, and Eagles Engage are examples of our service-based scholarships. We're NCAA Division II school concerning like our traditional athletic programs, cheer and dance, and we have a bass fishing team as well that you can get scholarships for. Forensics and debate, film theater, art and photography, music. You don't have to study art or music, film or theater to receive scholarships. If you just want to participate and study, education or a different discipline, you can get smaller scholarships. Chemistry and math is always looking for kids, so they give out a lot of money. If your parents went to Carson-Newman, you can get a scholarship. We offer diversity scholarships as well. If your parent is a minister, we offer scholarships, and there's a ton of other opportunities. Just let me know because I can't list them all here. Our CN grant. So if you apply to colleges and you're like, why is the FAFSA important? I don't qualify for anything, or your parents don't believe they'll qualify for anything. We have institutional need-based grants, and we get a lot more leeway as what we consider financial need. So yeah, there's that. Even if you don't qualify for Pell or SCOG, we can offer room scholarships and we can offer need-based grants. Any college you're interested in, try to go visit. Our campus we tour Monday through Friday at 10 and 2 p.m. Visit, it's cn.edu/admissions/visit Carson-Newman. And if you have any questions, there's my email, my phone number. Don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
All right, awesome, thank you. And then our final presenter is from DigiPen Institution of Technology. So Mike, take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, everyone. I'll go and share my screen really quick. So again, my name is Mike. I work here at DigiPen Institute of Technology, and we'll go ahead and get the show on the road. So right off the bat, we're a private four-year college located in Redmond, Washington. And if you've never heard of Redmond, I'm sure you've heard of Seattle. We're actually really close. On a good day, I can drive to Seattle in probably about 30 minutes. Average day, probably closer to about 45 minutes to an hour. But point being is we're really in a great area, and we specialize in these areas of expertise you see up here on your screen: computer science, digital art and animation, game design and development, and of course, music and sound design. So whether you like to program or do art, or perhaps you're a musician, or you really love design philosophy, and if you really want to make software and video games, we very well might be a good fit for you. Again, we were founded in 1988, so we've been validating these careers for well over 30 years, which is really exciting. Beyond that, again, as we were just talking about, we're located pretty close to Seattle. We actually have 2 international campuses as well. But as far as Redmond is concerned, I always like to say it means opportunity. We're really objectively just one of the best places, not only in the country, but arguably the world, for some of these career paths. Of course, these are just like a brief snippet of what you can expect to find in the area, but like right off the top, some of the bigger ones are, of course, Microsoft and Amazon and Google and Apple and Facebook and Boeing and eBay and Twitter and Hulu and Uber. A lot of these companies that we all interact with, perhaps on a daily basis. We've had alumni work at all of those. And of course, there's hundreds upon hundreds of more companies. If you're more interested in game development, which a lot of our students and applicants are, you're in good company. Of course, we're really close to Nintendo of America. If you've ever played like a Super Nintendo game or like a Wii game or perhaps a Switch game, a lot of the times, like if you look where it's manufactured, it says it's Redmond, Washington, which is really cool because that's where we're at. So of course, we're also really close to Microsoft Studios and 343 and Valve and Oculus. Now, speaking of Oculus, they do, of course, like virtual reality headsets. If you walk out our front entrance and walk like 32 seconds that way, you're actually going to run into an Oculus lab, which is really cool. We're close to Bungie and Sucker Punch and Turn 10, and of course, hundreds upon hundreds of more companies, which again, it means opportunity, because by the time you graduate, that means you're really close proximity to potential employers, to places where your fellow alum work, of course, internship opportunities as well. It's just a really great bustling area. If this is what you're passionate about, this is one place that it's, of course, worth keeping an eye on. These are some of the game series that have been helped or developed in this area. But as far as where our alumni have worked, we're not going to read all of these. This is just us saying, hey, look, our students are cool and we're really proud of them. They've worked at hundreds of companies. It's to the point where I always like to say, if you have a favorite game of all time, then there's a really solid chance one of our alumni helped develop it. In fact, we just updated our numbers on our website, I believe this week. It's fresh off the press. Our students have actually helped develop over 1,600 games now, which is really cool. We've been top ranked by the Princeton Review in game design schools. We've been in the top 5 for the past 12 years now. Our average class size is, I believe, floating around 16 now. And then our degree programs, again, we do have 10, meaning we're pretty hyper-focused in what we offer. We don't have like dozens of degrees, which is totally fine. But what we do offer, again, we're able to really focus on that. And of course, we were the first school in the world to ever offer a video game programming degree. We've been validating those careers for quite a while, which is really exciting. And there's some more statistics up here, but I'll leave it at that. We're just really proud of the work that our alumni are doing. As far as the degrees that we do offer, they all fall into these categories up here. But again, ultimately, it really boils down to, do you want to program? Do you want to do art, music, or design? Because if so, again, we probably have something that fulfills that niche for you. Game teams is very much how we take, passion from applicants like yourself, and then we convert that into real world experience. So of course, like anywhere, we're going to have, lectures, and you're going to buy books and hear from really smart professors, and that's great. But we also offer game teams as well. We're very much founded on project-based learning. So, you learn how to do the thing in the classroom, but then you also, express it in a practical environment. So like if you learn how to program, you're going to go program a video game. If you learn how to do art in the classroom, you're going to go create art for a game. We use video games as building blocks because, again, even if you don't want to end up in video games, our philosophy is if you can, develop a video game, honestly, you can develop anything because it's a very technical and difficult process. But if you can, complete that, again, you can go anywhere. As far as the admissions timeline is concerned, it really just depends on when you're applying, whether you're a sophomore in high school or perhaps a senior right now looking to apply. Rest assured, there's plenty of options for all of those. Right now, our July 1st is our final application deadline. If you can submit an application by then you're in good hands. We are rolling admissions, meaning we take applications all throughout the academic year. If you're if you're waiting perhaps for fall 2022 or beyond, I definitely recommend trying to hit that priority application deadline. Just generally speaking, no matter where you apply, even if it's not DigiPen, just rule of thumb, apply earlier, just because, again, typically colleges will have the most and greatest access to scholarships. So more scholarships means more money in your pocket, which means, less that you have to pay back. So that's only ever a good thing. And of course, for DigiPen, it also means guaranteed access to our housing too. Okay, and we're running out of time here. Just rest assured that we do have our admissions requirements on our website. Our cost and tuition for the current year is $34,700. Rest assured, Georgetown University Center of Education did a study that found we were in the top 1% for best return on investment. So in long story short, our students that are graduating are, again, earning objectively great salaries. If you do have more questions, though, be sure to contact us. Thank you so much for your time.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. So we will conclude the presentation portion of the webinar here tonight, and I will just ask our university representatives to kind of come back online, and we will kind of go round robin through the presentation order that we originally presented in. And if you all don't mind just sharing something interesting about your school, maybe a unique program or offering that you have at your school that our students seem to really enjoy. So we'll use these last few minutes to share a little bit about your schools. And students, if you have any questions in that time, please feel free to include them in the Q&A box. So we'll start in presentation order. Taylor, if you want to start us off.
Sure. So we're, like I was saying in the presentation, we're really known for our healthcare programs, but we're one of the only schools in the United States that offers a full bluegrass and old time country music program. So if you wanted to learn how to be successful in the music industry, we're a really great fit. Over the last 3 years, we've had 14 Grammy nominations from faculty and staff. So it's a cool little kind of niche program.
At Sweet Briar, we are one of 2 women's colleges in the country to have an ABET accredited engineering program. It's just astounding what those students do. The major itself is pretty significant, but we have graduates who literally leave here after 4 years with a bachelor's and go work for Boeing and NavAir. And we have a student who just graduated who is in the Jet Propulsion Laboratory at NASA. So if you're interested in engineering, we can definitely help you out among many other programs.
Oh, sorry, I was coughing there. We at Regent, we started as a graduate communication school. So we actually have a broadcasting center on campus. And if you guys have ever heard of 700 Club, that's actually broadcasted from our campus. So that's a fun fact.
Yeah, I would say like the access to faculty, it's not uncommon for like even me, like I hang out with faculty. If it's an experience you want as part of your undergrad, being a small town, you know, they'll invite you over for dinner. We watch movies together, play board games. So that's a unique experience as part of my overall like higher ed experience would be just hanging out with faculty.
Cool. I think that leaves me. I always like to talk about, I mean, there's so many cool things that I always get squeezed to talk about here, but I'll go ahead and just talk about our PAX West involvement. So if you know what PAX West is, or if you don't, a long story short, basically 80 to 100,000 people get into the Washington Conference Center in downtown Seattle. And then we all celebrate video games and new games coming out and projects. And we attend every single year for our students, and they have their own booths and they can talk with professionals. And believe it or not, I've seen internship conversations happen. So it's just really cool, again, that we're so invested in our students and that we're in such a great area.
Those are all like definitely unique and interesting. So we have a few minutes left here, so I will just leave the Zoom room open in case any of our students have any last minute questions, and I will just go ahead and share some last minute housekeeping reminders for our students who may be watching the recording. So a reminder that the recording is available online for our students who may have missed it or want to go back and gather additional information that they may have missed during the presentation on the strivescan.com website that you originally registered for, or you are viewing the recording now. There is a quick survey for our students who are joining us live here to improve additional StriveScan events moving forward. And a final reminder that we have more events lined up within the next upcoming weeks and into the summer for our students either continuing their search or just potentially starting out their collegiate search here for their institution. So again, thank you to the university representatives as well as the students who joined us tonight for this webinar. And again, stay safe and thank you all for joining us.